We have a huge crisis in our country with mental health. 20 to 25% of youth are suffering with some sort of mental disorder. Mental health challenges don't just affect the person who has them, it of course affects the whole family as well as the community.
We see a lot more anxiety disorders now in kids and adolescents than before. The World Health Organization some years ago predicted a 50% increase in depression and anxiety and other psychiatric disorders in kids by 2020. Some 22% of adolescents and kids have a psychiatric disorder of some kind. Only about 20% of those actually get treatment.
Mental health problems really start early. They don't just crop up out of the blue when you're 20 or 30 or 40. It's really starting from the very earliest stages of development that we can intervene. We're beginning to develop new strategies for understanding what's the biological basis of anxiety disorder, but a whole host of different mental health problems that come from the earliest stages of development that will lead us to better treatment so we can help more kids achieve their full potential.
There's so many children suffering, so many families suffering right now with mental health disorders. And they're suffering in silence because there isn't enough awareness.
So many young people who appear for treatment have mixtures of problems. They're not just depressed, they're not just anxious. And so we need treatments that span an array of different problems. This is one area where I think AIM makes a very important contribution, sort of speaking out, advocating for young people, and really normalizing mental health challenges, and in the process reduce the stigma.
AIM has done an excellent job of putting together a scientific advisory board of the absolute top experts in the field, which creates a very open culture for scientific thinking and inquiry.
Scientific Advisory Board is a roster of my heroes, people whose work I have admired for so long and whose science is solid.
The study that AIM is funding, not only are we working to understand what's happening in the brain to cause anxiety in very young, so preschoolers, these are 4 to 6 years old, but at the same time we're also developing a brain-based intervention to help these kids overcome the fears that maybe are preventing them from going to kindergarten or getting along with family or making new friends. AIM is really stepping in by funding early career scientists who we need to grow more of to be able to do this work, to understand what is causing youth mental health problems, how do we better treat youth mental health problems, but also not only funding those young investigators, but funding research that puts clinicians, patients, and researchers together in the same room.
It's a time when government funding for research and for postdoctoral positions is very difficult to find. Luckily, AIM came to support me in a really great way.
There's a huge void in the mental health community. AIM is filling that void. With your support, we can find solutions. There is hope out there, and AIM is leading the way.